Hey guys, this is Hamon, and welcome to Bytesize Season 5, the show where I review games that I've taken interest in. They have to be old, they have to be new, they just have to be something I'm interested in. And today we're going to be talking about Buckshot Roulette, a game that took 2024 by storm upon release, with several people having made videos of both the single player and the multiplayer when that was released, and it is just a blast, in semi-literal terms. There's not necessarily a story. All you know is that you're a person that wakes up in the bathroom and you're at a warehouse rave going into a backroom area talking to a guy about playing a game of Buckshot Roulette, which is essentially Russian roulette, but I'll get into that when we get into the game mechanics. But yeah, that's generally it. The whole idea is that you're trying to beat the guy at the game, in 3 rounds no less. Again, I'll get into it in mechanics to explain better. In terms of graphics, it's a very interesting art style, and it does work with the idea of the game, because this isn't like one of those nice little fancy casino type of deals. This is one of those back alley or black market type of dealings that, you know, you're doing something that is likely highly illegal for a big wad of cash and all that in-game and such. So it's definitely not something that should look all that nice and all that. Like, I love the fact that it looks like it's a back room that has like a bunch of mechanical things thrown together to make this all work and all that. And yeah, I love it. It's really good. Don't really have too much of an issue with it. Even the fact that there's a void behind the opponent works with it, because it's like you don't know what he really is per se. Like, he looks humanish, but the moment you take the first shot, you kind of see that there might be more to him. And I think it's better that way, because it gives into the whole mystery thing, because he still bleeds, but he's not exactly human, from what I can say. But yeah, going into mechanics, here's the thing. If you've ever played games like Liar's Bar or on VR chat with like those one Russian roulette things, it's kind of the same thing. In Buckshot Roulette, however, the difference is it's a shotgun, but they've added a little more to it. So, first off, there are lives in this game. X amount per round. So you could have a round where you have 2 lives, or a round where you have 3, 4, I think it goes even up to like 6 lives. Your whole idea is that you have to figure out, with the gun loaded, which one it is on your turn. Because since this is a shotgun, it's not just one bullet in the chamber. There could be a maximum of 8 possible outcomes, with 4 live and 4 blank at any point, and put in at a random order. So whenever it is your turn, you have to figure out whether you're safe or you're dead. The simplest way of figuring that out is to point it at the opponent, because in this one, instead of pointing at yourself, you have a choice. If you point it at yourself, and it's a blank, you get an extra turn. But if you point it at the opponent and it's a blank, you lose the turn. And if you point it to the opponent or yourself, and it's alive, your turn passes on to them, but you or them lose a life. And it's the same with them. They shoot themselves with a life, you know, they lose a turn and also lose a life and all that. And it continues like that until one or the other is dead. But of course, there's rounds in this. So you could still be alive, or at least the opponent can still be alive for the next 2 rounds if you're able to get through them. But the 3rd round is where things get interesting, because they introduce this whole thing that when they reach the last 2 lives, they cut off support. So basically, if you die there, that's it. But if you're able to beat them, you've won the game, and you win the cash. And that's generally it. Like, that's for the main thing. They do introduce this whole thing of double or nothing, where basically you can play the game as long as you want, winning as much cash as you want type of thing. It's basically like an infinite play loop for that one. So you could, if you're able to beat the game for quite a long time, you could end up with a really high score. And I'm not even haven't even gotten into like the other stuff, like the items and multiplayer. To get into that, items is very simplistic. Just a bunch of items that can help you determine if it's live or blank, or even change the outcome. The most simplest one, to give you an example, is the magnifying glass. That one's purpose is simple enough. It allows you to look into the chamber to see if it's live or blank, and with that knowledge, you can act accordingly. There's also the handcuffs, which, when used, makes the opponent unable to go for the next turn, including the turn that you're using it on. I'm not entirely sure how long it's supposed to last. I think it should be at least a turn, but sometimes I feel like it takes longer, because sometimes they end up with blanks, and so you're just stuck there for a while. If the opponent uses it on you, it's gonna be a very frustrating time, because they're usually able to determine what's what very easily. And then as you progress, like in the double or nothing part, you get to look at new items, such as the cell phone, which can tell you that one of the rounds in the gun could be live or blank, but you just have to keep track of where you are in this. So I probably would recommend using it on the first time. So it's like when it says, oh, the 4th round is live, you're like, okay, so I'm on the first bullet, so that means after this one, the next 2 are probably that. But you know for sure the 4th one is such and such. And those are just to give you an example of what items can be in this game. There are various other ones that do different abilities and all that. Now, the multiplayer, it's what it is. It's basically it could be a 4-way game of Buckshot Roulette where you're trying to shoot the person either across from you or to the side of you. And last man standing wins. Simple enough. So, with all that said, I definitely recommend this game. It's fun. The only caveat I will say is that if once you get to the story and you play double or nothing a few times, it'll probably get a little boring. So maybe come back every now and then after a bit, like if you're bored type of thing, and just have a little thrill. But yeah, definitely recommend it either way. Thank you for watching the first episode of Season 5. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, favorite, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Check out my other social medias to see more stuff that I do, whether it's art, whether it's videos, whether it's just me babbling on and all that. I wouldn't mind if you check it out. And with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!